what exactly then is at stake? How significant is this decision today?
It is pretty significant because today 9 people called the wise men, although it includes 3 women, will have the power to actually cancel this French pension reform from Emmanuel Macron. They will have their verdict probably around 6 p.m. French time today. They will also say whether this should go through a referendum process that will then require 10% of the French electorate to sign in order to organize possibly a referendum next year. It is unlikely though that the Council will reject the reform entirely. Most probably they will reject parts of the reform, especially the senior index, which forces companies to publish the number of older workers over 55 years old they employ. That could actually go out of the reform. Of course, if the entire reform is rejected, that would be a disaster for President Emmanuel Macron. He would have to start from scratch on this entire pension reform.
Caroline, where do things stand on the protests? Do they continue? Do they continue in Paris? Do they continue across the rest of the country?
You had a few tensions that you just saw in front of the Constitutional Council yesterday on the sidelines of the 12th day of a general strike in France. And you also had a symbolic action by some railway workers storming into the LVMH headquarters on the very fancy Avenue Montaigne, 1 week actually after those same railway workers stormed Black Rock last week. So obviously a lot of symbolic actions expected today, but overall the turnout at these protests has gone down. So basically the number of people protesting has gone from around 1.3 million people at the peak at the beginning of March to less than 400,000 people yesterday. There is another planned action on May 1st, but that is traditionally a lot of protests because it's Labor Day. We'll see, however, if this Constitutional Council decision actually fuels more protest or actually creates a fading down of the action against the pension reform.